1, 2, 3, 4.
Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this, the 4th episode of the Good Morning Guys podcast for 2021. Number 125, aka the hours in which I get most of my work done for the day during the holiday breaks. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we continue discussing the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and to play. I am one of your 4 hosts, the Brazilian Mountaineer and Pixar apologist and transition ninja. Not pronunciation ninja. Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge, jury, and execution of spoilers, fake news, and Long John Silver's Patrick Novosel.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to pronunciate Diagon Alley, but you never know what's going to happen. Yep.
That is true. On his left and my right, the volleyballing arc beast of the East who can make you laugh in 3 words or less or your money back, Ronnie Johantges.
Hi.
Hi. And then the final member of the GMG Quadfecta who's got music in his heart, Doctor Who on his brain, Apex in his hands, and La Coretta in his old stomacho, Marc Boucher.
Pro tip of the day, make sure you place the correct emphasis on the correct syllable.
Yeah, that's a very good tip. A very good tip indeed.
Yeah,
hey,
tip
you
of
know,
the day of you, as well.
Mark, you're not the only one with La Coretta in his stomach. I have poor boy's La Coretta, a.k.a. Healthy Taco Bell, in my old stomacho tonight.
What's healthy Taco Bell?
What does that mean?
That's an
Healthy
oxymoron.
Taco Bell is when you have ground beef with tacos, which is not the true right way to have tacos. La Coretta would never give you ground beef tacos. They give you steak, chicken.
I thought they only did that in America.
The good stuff, yeah. So we just had tacos at home, but what makes it special is we found a taco nacho tortilla factory like 10 minutes from our house that make restaurant quality flour tortillas, hard
so many
tacos,
questions.
tortilla chips in like 3-pound bags. It's awesome. So we bought some last week. And
Patrick,
we had
I feel like you have a question as
smorgasbord.
well.
What is this? Okay, is this a restaurant?
No, it's a factory that supplies to restaurants, but they also supply to pedestrians.
You're
How'd you
like,
find
we
it?
went to our family went to a warehouse. I'm like,
We
what
did.
is happening?
It was very questionable.
They were on a hike and just came across this tortilla factory.
Oh, look at this, guys. Let's walk
Look
in
at
here.
this. It's a tortilla factory.
Graffiti
That's
all
right.
over this. Seems
We
normal.
had to literally break in, like the sign said, you must break in to enter. I was like, oh.
Doesn't have those giant, like, I don't know, like 3-foot long, big old bags of like tortilla chips that you can get?
Pretty
In a
much.
clear
yeah.
bag?
It was just a friend of a friend, a family member, friend, person that a person knew a person, and they apparently it's called Frida Foods,
Way
and they
down
have.
the line.
It sounds like I know a guy who knows.
I know a guy who knows.
I got a chip
Exactly.
guy.
But let me tell you, I'm never going back. And part of the reason it was Taco Bell. No, I'm never going
Scary.
back to like grocery store tortillas. Like, these were
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
It was
Elliot had
like
them fresh.
I made a double-decker taco with the hard shell, then the layer of beans, and then the soft shell.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So
oh my
good.
gosh,
Mm.
nice.
Made it
is
myself. It was
fantastic.
so good. So that's what made it healthy Taco Bell.
Oof, good stuff.
So yeah, that's that. Mark?
It's a weird spot. Should we start it off with a story?
Lucas,
are
why
we?
just-
Hey,
Yeah, I
why
don't
don't
know-
you
I
start
don't
with
know where we are in the
questions?
show.
And I wanted to start out with the story. And then I said Mark, but he didn't hear me. And I waited patiently.
But that's all he has to say about that.
Yeah,
Yes,
I just wanted to
Lucas,
share that.
how can I help
And then
you?
Mark, how about you? Have you been to La Coretta this week?
You know what? No, I have
Wow.
not.
Sounds like your dog just was.
Yes, I think he was. He had the burrito.
Yeah,
Burrito.
for those not in the know, which is everyone except the 4 guys here. Yeah, my dog really had to go right before recording. It was great. Almost went in the bathroom where I didn't
he
want
have-
to
I mean,
go.
that's
Did
not
he have
wrong.
the bad Taco Bell?
What's that?
Yeah, he definitely
He must have had the bad Taco Bell.
Yeah, yep. He had regular Taco Bell.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
But at least he wanted to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You
It
guys-
wasn't your bed he wanted to go to.
Since we
This
started
is
at
true.
Taco Bell, have you guys ever had the Doritos Locos Tacos?
Yes.
Yeah, is that the
I had just had
Doritos?
one like a month ago for the first time.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was fantastic, but Man, this is a hard taco. It's just impossible. It ended up just being me, like, just getting handfuls of taco ingredients and just stuffing my face.
As soon as you bite into it.
The first bite is the only one you can really get without looking like an animal.
That's why I don't do hard shell tacos.
I normally don't either, but you can't get the Doritos Locos tacos.
Yeah. I only do the double-decker.
I have a question. Is this improv? Are we doing improv again?
No.
'Cause I feel like we're doing it again.
It's the extended version of it, yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to find a middle ground where it's like
Okay.
improv,
I like it.
planned. Let's see where it
Good
goes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Implant.
So, Mark, since you didn't go to that old La Coretta, where did you go? What did you do? What did you play?
Where
Because
did
it's
I
what
come
news
from?
news.
Where did I
What's
go?
news? Cotton
Who
Eye
are
Joe.
Yep.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Why is Gamora?
We already know these answers to these questions.
Yeah. So instead of going to La Coretta this past weekend, there is a place that apparently all of you guys know. I thought it was only limited to Virginia, but it is not. It is a place called Mellow Mushroom.
Yeah.
So they had a Mellow Mushroom open here in Lynchburg. My wife's family and I absolutely love going to Mellow Mushrooms, especially because each Mellow Mushroom, the interior of it is always a different theme.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, it's not the same everywhere. Like there's one in Richmond that we've been to that's a 1920s speakeasy. There's one when we go to a place called Blowing Rock, North Carolina. It's up in the mountains. Everything is car parts. This one was very nature themed. There was like different colored apples and stuff hanging from the ceiling, and all the walls were painted like different types of butterflies and grass and things like that. But still very nice in there. They just opened last Monday. And so we decided to go on Sunday evening, and it was great. I mean, obviously, first week of business, so there are kinks to work out, but otherwise everything was great. And when they did, like when something messed up, like if we were waiting too long for our food, like I remember we were still waiting for our main dishes, and all of a sudden, hey, here's something to tide you over while you're waiting, and they gave us this like random small pizza that we didn't order for free.
Here's your pizza before you have your pizza.
Yeah.
Old appetizer pizza.
Yeah.
That was basically what it was. Appetizer.
It's like you eat it with a tiny fork and knife. That's what we do in Brazil. Fork and knife with the pizza.
All I can imagine now is somebody taking those little itty bitty, corn cob things and doing them.
Yeah, just stick it in.
They should do that. They should do that at all restaurants. Like you go to a burger joint and they hand you like a slider. Like, all right, here. I know you ordered a burger, but here's a slider to hold you over.
Here's your pre-burger burger.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Write it down.
Yep.
Yeah, we had a great time there. Food was great. I earlier in the week had some of their pizza for takeout, but this time I ended up ordering one of their salads because Mark is being more aggressive with his eating habits, his dieting.
Yeah.
Sounds like less aggressive, really.
Sure, if you want to think of it that way. More aggressive with cutting out stuff, I guess would be the word for it. And trying to eat more healthy because I had another health scare where I've been having chest pains and things like that. So I'm actually supposed to see sometime soon a cardiologist to get some tests done. Thankfully, I feel better today. But yeah, the past few days it's been kind of scary with this chest pain and arm pain. So no bueno. So
definitely not.
I'm really once things get better, get taken care of, and I can go ahead, I'm gonna really start to try to really sift through my diet and try to find more things to be active. And I've put a goal for myself, and it's January, obviously, right now, to lose 50 pounds this year.
All right.
So that is the goal, which I think is very attainable.
Okay.
So I just have to really be disciplined about it and have accountability about it. So we're going to be working on that for sure.
Yeah. Do you have a nutritionist or anybody who's more in the know on these things that you're talking to, or are you?
I
How are you
don't
going about
currently,
this?
but I know people.
Okay, good.
Apparently, a very close buddy of mine is, well, I guess he's not a nutritionist. He's more of a a certified fitness instructor. So he's not really a nutritionist, but but I've been given several different ways I could go at this, but I have to really think about my just my natural inclinations, my habits, in order to find what the best way of eating healthy that I know of, where I can be consistent with it. So I just need to find what works for me. So that's the biggest thing. But I posted on Facebook and Twitter, and I appreciate everybody that has encouraged me and given me suggestions and things. I really do appreciate it, because I'm going to need all the help I can get. I'm going to need a lot of accountability, because I have tried several times throughout my life to make sure that I have a healthy lifestyle of eating and being active and stuff, and they just all tend to fall off. So I just really need to be consistent about it and really need the accountability for it. So that'll be good, and hopefully we can figure out what's going on health wise with me. Hopefully it's nothing serious, and hopefully it's something easily taken care of.
Yeah. More often than not, I've watched enough of The Biggest Loser to know that even if it's really serious, a lot of exercise and good eating will do a lot to help in these situations. So
yeah,
we'll definitely be praying, but definitely be there for you. And however we can encourage you, slap your hand, whatever works to get you in the right state of mind to, reach your goals, because we want you to have success, man, and to feel better about where your health is.
I appreciate it. I really do. So that's been something I've been really focusing in on this weekend, and I've really kind of wrestled with, just because, I was feeling a lot of, not to get too deep or anything, but I was feeling like really angry and kind of ashamed of myself. And, ultimately I've had several people talk to me, be like, God's not sitting there beating you to death, so you shouldn't.
If he was beating you to death, you would be dead. So
yeah,
it's
this is
good
true.
He's not beating you to death.
He wouldn't. It wouldn't be much of a process. It would be kind of an immediate thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm doing better with that. On other news, I finally got to see my side of the family after not being able to see them in months, because of different COVID-related things and stuff like that. I think the last time I saw them was like September or October, and they live in the same town as me. So I finally got to see them for a game night on Saturday night, which was awesome. We went old school, played some Uno with the whole family.
Nice.
Kristen won one game, and I won another game. So that was cool.
Did you break the tie?
Did I break the tie?
Yeah, you both won, so you have to play again in order to decide who the real winner is.
Exactly.
No, we did not. We just left it there. Left it
Come
as
on,
it was.
now's the time.
Man, I have anxiety thinking about this right now.
Well, now it's not the time for two reasons. Number one, we're recording, and
Kristen, get
and
over
number
here.
two, she's not home.
We're pausing right now. We need to end this.
Call her
We need to
up.
figure out who the real winner is.
But yeah, so we had a great time. It was good to see my family again and spend some time with them for sure. On the gaming side of things, last week was a pretty busy week. Obviously got to play some Apex on stream with the guys, which is always good with Patrick and Justin. Streamed some Immortals Phoenix Rising on Saturday and today, because I had a day off today. And I'm really trying to put some extra time in with Immortals because we're coming up on the end of the month. And next month is obviously new game. So I really don't think I'm going to be able to finish it on stream. I'll probably have to do it in my own time because I think it's like I said, 22 and a half hours to actually beat it. But I'm going to try to get it as far as I can. But I'm absolutely still loving that game. It's a lot of fun. Pat, I was able to actually upgrade my swimming so I can swim dash.
Great.
So that's nice.
That is fantastic. I was talking to Caleb. He was playing some Immortals, and I told him that the swimming was broken, and I don't try to swim at all. So if he's listening, I'm sure he'll be happy to hear that you can upgrade your swimming.
Yeah. He was actually on watching the stream today when I was talking about that.
Oh, nice.
And the funny thing is, like, you have issues swimming and dying when swimming, but yet pretty much any height, there's no fall damage whatsoever.
That's Apex. Sounds great.
Basically. But yeah, I'm still absolutely loving that game. Broke out something I haven't played in a very long time. I played on stream. I played Halo Master Chief Collection on Friday nights.
Mm-hmm.
I back in the day, back in 2011, 2012, I had a group of good buddies that I would regularly, Friday and Saturday night, we would always play Halo. We were squatting up basically when Halo Reach and Halo 4 were fresh, and so it would always be a regular thing. And we hadn't met up in quite a while. Obviously, families have kind of changed the game literally for a lot of things. And so finally, we were able to squat up again Friday night and bust out the old Master Chief Collection. And I forgot how much I missed that game and how fun it was. And it was just really good to be able to spend time with those guys again.
Nice.
But I think that is about it with me.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick.
Nope.
Hi.
Ronnie.
How about Ronnie
Why?
goes?
Oh,
There's
okay.
an order to things.
Best not to ask.
That's right. I forgot. I
Marcus.
apologize. Forgot.
It's all good.
Like forgetting is better than not knowing at all, though.
It's true. You had a 50% chance.
Yeah,
Of course, I did know, though. Just to clarify that. My week was really boring. I worked a lot. End of the year, beginning of the year is always terrible. So I'm caught up right in the middle of that storm now. The only thing I did out of the ordinary this past week is I had a game night with some of my friends. Just the usual characters, just a few of us. We went over, we played some Broforce, we played Marvel Ultimate Alliance for a little while. Just kind of ran through some of the usual games. And that was really fun because we haven't done that in a little while. And then we had a date night on Sunday night last night.
Nice.
And
Oh,
it was
there
the
you go.
first time in a while.
Yeah.
It's easy with the whole COVID thing, really. It just kind of slips away from you eventually, you know.
Yep.
And then all of a
Just
sudden you're like,
coast
man,
along.
we haven't been out in so long. So we did that, and it was really good time. It's nice to get back into that routine. But honestly, that is it for me. I mean, on the video game front, I'm still playing Ark. I mean, there's nothing I can say that I haven't already said.
Yeah.
So
No worries.
I do think it's interesting. However, I know you guys aren't huge into sports, but Tom Brady going back to the Super Bowl with the Bucs.
I know, right?
That's impressive,
Yes.
man.
With
That's
a different
impressive.
football team. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I saw a meme. I was like, Tom Brady versus Pat Mahomes. This is going to be great because these quarterbacks are going to be the top of the quarterbacks for the next 15 years in the NFL.
You see, when Tom Brady won his, I think when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes was 6, I think, maybe.
Yeah,
and
he's
it
in
looked-
kindergarten.
Little kid, yeah.
He was in kindergarten.
They said Tom Brady in 21. He's gotten to the playoffs 21 times, and he's reached either the AFC Championship or the NFC Championship this year for the first time. 14 out of those 21 years.
This is his 10th Super Bowl, if he goes
That's
to this one.
unbelievable.
Oh, no, wait, he
Yeah,
is in the
it's
Super
nuts.
Bowl now.
Yeah, he's in the Super Bowl.
This is his 10th.
Yep.
21 playoffs, 10 Super Bowls.
That's, I mean, I don't know.
What?
I
That's
know
incredible.
a lot of people don't like him because of all the cheating stuff, but man, what he's been able to do has been incredible.
I mean,
you can call it what you want. I think.
Yeah, but
I think the
this year
only
he's
knock really
demonstrating-
against him is that his team got caught cheating, which I personally believe probably every single team was doing the same thing. But they were winning a lot, so they got caught.
Yeah.
Bro, he went to the Bucks and he took him to the Super Bowl.
I know. And I think a lot of people's one last thing about him that they knocked him for was being like a system quarterback. And you can't say it anymore. You can't say that now.
Yeah, he totally jumped systems, and now he's going to the Super Bowl again.
His system was taking whoever was on his team to the Super Bowl, basically. That's the system quarterback that he was, because it didn't matter who's on his team.
Yeah, and I said this when the whole Deflategate thing and all that crap happened. And once he served his time, and then came back. Like, Roger Goodell and the NFL and all those guys are watching that dude like a hawk to make sure that he doesn't do that again.
Yep.
And he still does it.
He's won Super Bowls since then. I mean, multiple ones, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is an incredible thing. I have not watched a lot of football this year, which is bizarre, like considering like my year in football, right? Like I've always liked Tom Brady, but I also like won our fantasy league, right? And I like haven't watched a game all year. Yeah. I just like pay attention to stats, and I will probably watch the Super Bowl because of that. And I think I saw that they have, what is it, The Weeknd at a halftime show? Like that'll be a good show. That'll be good.
Absolutely.
That's it for me though.
Sweet. All right. Well, before you go, Patrick, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
Let's hear it.
Alrighty then.
Sounds good.
Fantastic.
Give me something good.
I'm gonna tell you a few things, good my friend.
Yay.
Last week I had told you guys that my family and I watched Moana. From time to time, we like to mix things up with our Disney watching. We sometimes like to mix it up between old and new, because that old stuff, we can only take so much of the old stuff. So we need to kind of fresh it up with some new stuff. And so we watched Moana last week. And being the Pixar/Disney apologist fan of just animated movies, I couldn't stop there. And so on Wednesday, I actually led a devotional at my wife's school, my kids' school, for the teachers and the administration. And I connected Moana with God's calling and purpose in our lives, and got a lot of positive feedback. It was a really good time. I hadn't led a devotional like that in quite a while in the midst of COVID, and hadn't really been invited to attend anything. Maybe I'd been in a few church services and give some sermons, but nothing major. So that was really cool. And on top of that, it also really kind of lit a fire under my butt to finally get Good Morning God back into gear again.
Yeah.
So at the end of this month, gonna be getting back on the horse, back on the bicycle, whatever you want to call it, and sharing some more devotionals and maybe some more gospel according to Pixar series in the future. We'll see what happens.
Cool,
but
man.
So besides that, we watched we watched a couple different movies, some with the kids, some without the kids. We watched Benji the Hunted. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Benji.
Is that a horror movie?
That
I
takes
mean,
me
it
back.
sounds
Benji,
like
the
it.
horror movie.
And based on some of it, it was borderline horror movie just because it was so bad. So bad. It made no sense sometimes. Like it was some kind of animal escort mission where this dog gets lost, and literally from the moment he gets lost, he's quasi adopts these cougar cubs. He swims to the shore. He finds this cougar that's just woken up, and they like look at each other and say, "Hey, what's up?" And then the cougar just is like, "Hello," and licks itself and gets shot by a hunter. And then somehow Benji just automatically goes to the cougar cubs and he adopts them. He leads them through the forest to find another random cougar in the forest. And that's all the movie is him trying to get these cougars to the cougar.
Benji is the best.
I mean,
Superhero of dogs.
He is the superhero, because not only did he deliver these cougars, but he beat a dire wolf. Like he this movie, he's getting chased by this wolf.
He beat a dire wolf, which is like probably 15 times bigger than he is.
He's got like a flak jacket with like twin machine guns.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's it. He got a few semi-autos out and just started laying them down.
Benji's got opposable thumbs. He can do anything.
Yeah. But what he does in this movie is at one point he finds a path. He puts some tree branches in the way of the path, trying to divert the wolf towards a certain direction. And he goes and he hides in some bushes. Unbeknownst to the wolf, on the other side is a cliff. And so the wolf jumps over in the movie, and then when it goes, it cuts off the wolf jumping over the hedge of bushes, and then all of a sudden it's clearly like a stuffed wolf dog.
Oh, I love that.
And that
I
just
love that.
flies in the air like limply, like
It reminds me of The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, where he jumps off that dam, and it's just a rag doll,
like a mannequin rag
I
doll.
didn't kill my wife. I don't
care.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened here, except we rewound it multiple times and watched it again and again. It was so funny. And it was like, this is the terrible. Why would they do that? I don't know. But it was funny.
It makes it funnier.
It does make it. It made it more enjoyable.
I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother bought me some sort of a VHS tape that it was a Benji limited like TV series, and it was called Benji, Zax, and the Alien Prince. Benji was working with some aliens. It was crazy.
I mean,
And it had like some old school
Makes sense.
80s like
Benji is the 007 of dogs.
he really is saving lives, destroying animals 15 times bigger than him. I mean, working with aliens. What else can you ask for? So yeah, that one was not a big hit with the family, other than those funny moments I shared. Other moments, it was just, you go through the whole credits, right? And it's like all the people involved. And then the last picture is like this random picture of Benji. And then it just says, woof.
Hold on a second. Are you expecting it to be some sort of Marvel after credit scene where?
Yeah.
Or do you watch the credits whenever you're done with a movie?
We always watch the credits because
okay.
The whole, our family activity is to find our names. And then
that's right. That's right. You did say that.
Points. Yeah. James always destroys us, especially like, it's like James everywhere. We watched a movie today, The Brave Little Toaster, old school cartoon from the 80s. Very traumatizing.
If there's a Jim in the credits, does he get credit?
Nicknames count. I have to because Luke is that. If I don't have a Luke, I see my name maybe 3 times, like in a year. Lucas. The rest of the time, I'll count it. If I see Lucy, I'll count that too. I take a lot of artistic.
It's got 3 of my 5 letters. I got it.
Yep, it counts. And sometimes I'd see my dad's name or my mom's name, and I'm like, that counts. Of course, then that fires back at me when James sees my name.
Where
like, points
do
for me,
you draw
Dad.
the line?
Yeah, there's no line. But yeah, we watched The Brave Little Toaster today, and Mindy saw her name for the first time, and I don't know that Mindy's ever seen her actual nickname, Mindy, in a movie, so that was kind of cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But we gave that one 6.5. Benji, 6.5 out of 10 quail carcasses. So.
I thought you were going to be higher on that, actually.
No, I only gave you guys the
It was
highlights.
going to be like
There was
a solid 8.
Me too, yeah.
There was a lot of dead time, like where Benji was just like staring.
What do you give the
then-
Brave
Oh, I
Little
thought you
Toaster?
said
The Brave Little Toaster? I mean, I personally give it 7.5. But I don't know about my family. I haven't had a lot of time to sit on it. We tried to sit on it for a while. Kind of mull over it, and then we discuss it a couple days afterwards, and then a couple days after that, we'll rate it. So
You guys have family discussions like 3 days later?
Oh, yeah. We
I've
don't want to...
forgotten what the movie is even about in 3 days.
Well, yeah.
I already forgot what he talked about.
Yeah, what are we doing here? What's going on? Are you ready to wrap things up? We're done, right?
You tell me. I forgot.
The other fun thing that happened this past week is we went on a Saturday day trip to go visit some family friends in a town about an hour and a half from here. We had just gotten a bike rack, and so we hitched up our bikes on it, and not 30 minutes from the house, we got rear-ended by a car.
Oh my gosh.
Are
You serious?
All your bikes were on the back.
Yep, bikes were on the
Jeez.
back. The bikes,
Jeez,
surprisingly, were not damaged, but
Oh,
the bumper got cracked. It popped part of the hatchback part of it. It popped it where the bars of the rack were. It kind of squeezed in the some of the metal. It hit so hard. So it was a sturdy bike rack, and the bikes held up okay.
It's going to be a good review.
Yeah. And then this guy has insurance, so we'll be dealing with that this week. So thankfully, at least, we met a Brazilian that has auto insurance.
For sure.
And then we reached our destination, got out the bikes, were pumping the tires, and one of our friends was trying to help James with pumping the tires, and James or Tasha couldn't get the pump off. So my friend was like, "Oh, let me help you." Ripped the gauge right off the tire. And the tire is not usable now because there's a huge hole in the tire.
Is that the first time he's ever done that?
I mean, apparently.
First day.
First time pumping a bike. Yeah. So that made things interesting.
What a day.
But we had fun anyways. I give the day an 8 out of 10, even with that cruddy stuff that happened. We had fun. We played games and ate good food and had good fellowship time. And then when we got back home, Mindy and I tried to watch the movie Tenet, and we fell asleep halfway through.
Oh.
It was good times. We both fell asleep. That's never happened in a movie where Mindy's like, "Are you asleep?" I'm like, "Yep." She's like, "Me too."
Are you asleep? Yep.
Yep. I got totally busted. I was like, "Oh, wow. This game is dense." I have no rating for Tenet. I'm going to try again later when I'm not so tired and give it a rating then. So those are the movies. What I did give ratings to are the platinum games that I got this week. Now there were 6 games that I played. Yeah, we got some good ones today. Let me tell you.
I bet we do.
I played 6 games that were just the same as before, but I played them on Vita, so that was automatic, just kind of free trophies. I just played them again. They were a lot easier to play the second time around. I'm not going to rate those again. But there are a few that I played that were very interesting. The first one that I'll mention is called Slide. It was actually a British game only. You can't download it on the American store. And pretty much I have like a hotel in London that I use as my address, and I have a UK account on my PlayStation. It's good times. And I had a little extra money from when I got Dead Cells DLC on the British store, and so I used 99 cents. I don't know what that is in pounds. It's 99 pence. Anyone know?
I have no idea.
Anyone up to date on these things?
Nope.
Fair enough. But the game's called Slide. It's just like a slide puzzle, like when you have the little tiles all mixed up. It took me 2 minutes and 33 seconds to platinum.
Shut your face.
I'm not going to do it. 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
2 minutes to platinum.
And what's funny is you solve the puzzle, and none of the trophies pop until you solve the puzzle. And then you just sit there, and like 12 trophies just go ba-ding, ba-da-ba-ding.
I thought My Name Is Mayo was bad.
No, this is the worst. It's the 2 worst.
This takes the cake.
This one is so bad. I give this one 2 out of 10 brain cells, which is how many I lost while playing this game.
That's funny.
Ooh, man, that was a fun one. But yeah, it was
No, what was that one called again?
Slide. Yeah.
Okay.
A crappy name.
It's Slide with a Y. It's not even spelled right.
99 pence.
99 pence. You can get it. You can get it for 99 pence. The next one I played was Dead Synchronicity. It was a very violent, vulgar, and incomplete point-and-click adventure. I got most of the way through and found out by the end it sets up for a sequel that never happens. Okay? Platinum,
Sweet.
I guess.
So far,
It's
so
a
good.
it's a humorless adventure set in a dystopian future. It had some puzzles, kind of clever, but overall, not recommended. 4 out of 10 acid facials. So that's that.
What?
Acid facials? You've never had an acid facial before? Where you just kind of
no,
toss
just-
some acid on your face to disfigure it?
I mean that's only every other day.
Not
but-
lately.
Not
Yeah.
lately. 2020,
Jeez.
yes. 2021, still too early.
I realized the report came out that's not good for you. So I stopped.
That's what I hear, but in
By the
Dead
way, Lucas-
Synchronicity, it is.
Lucas, just to follow up, it is pence.
Oh, sweet. Ham fact.
Yep.
Oink. I don't know what the ham fact sound is. I haven't figured that out yet. Whee! All right, so I have two more quick ones I'm going to run through. Stretch was the next one. It's like a modern day version of Asteroids, but with a little bit of a story. You're protecting
Nice.
Earth from a maniacal artificial intelligence that taunts you with text messages between levels.
Wow.
And then you stop the asteroids by hitting corresponding buttons on your controller. So like X, circle, square, L1, R1, up, down. Those different like asteroids will be coming at your screen, and you have to hit the ones closest to you. And there's like 8 different directions the asteroids can come from. It can get really crazy, and it definitely got very intense. Thankfully, every 5 levels out of the 20 levels you have to do for the platinum, you get a perk or a power-up, like a nuke or a predictive laser beam that tells you where to go next. So overall, I give it 7.5 nukes out of 10. I enjoyed it. And then the last one I wanted to share, Telltale's Batman Enemy Within.
Nice.
It was
There
my
you go.
favorite of this past week.
Oh, it's
I
got
was
to
going
be.
to say, that's probably the
It was
most
a
solid
no-brainer
one.
for this one. By the way, this segment is called The Path to a Plethora of Platinums, or GMG PPP, with me, Pastor Ham. Me.
There's a fourth P.
Exactly. So GMG PPPPH.
So
Yeah, it
many
just rolls off the
acronyms
tongue.
with this
I'm
podcast.
still working on it. Yeah. I like acronyms. Anyways, back to Batman. Telltale Adventure, choose your own adventure, like a animated comic. There's good stuff. I don't know how much you guys have played of the Telltale Batman games, but in this one, again, you play a lot, not just as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne. And with Bruce Wayne, you're like infiltrating a supervillain group called the Pact, which is made up of the Riddler, Mr. Freeze, Bane, Harley Quinn, Catwoman. And then also, just a minor spoiler, if you make your choices correctly or incorrectly, you also may or may not team up with the Joker.
Yeah,
It's
that's cool.
It's very good. Patrick, I don't know if you played the second one, but
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
That is a very, very. I think I streamed it, the
did you?
entire all the episodes, and I did all of the choices the way Batman would not make the choice.
me too.
And and the ending for me was awesome.
I know,
because
right?
it was not where Batman should have been. It should have ended up. It should not have what the choices he made, which was cool because that's when I've already seen all the Batman stories. Like,
Exactly.
Batman's the good guy. He does this, but I'm like, what if he was a bad guy?
Yeah, we're going to
What
have
if
to
you
talk
make
a
these
little
choices?
bit more behind the scenes to give a little more
Yeah.
spoilers, but I'd be interested to hear. It sounds like we took similar paths, and it was like,
Yeah.
by the end, like, I will say the first couple episodes, it was like a 7 out of 10, but by the time you got to 3, 4, and 5, it was like 10 out of 10.
Yes.
I'm like,
It ramped up. You're like, oh, these choices are making
yeah,
a difference.
I was really liking it, and I really liked the relationship and the interactions with Joker / John Doe. It was really cool. So I give it a 9 out of 10 with, just with the 7s and the 10s, to be fair. Maybe a 9.5.
Even it out.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was good stuff. So the past 25 days, I've racked up 28 platinums, and I'm now all out of 1 hour platinums. So now I'm moving on to my 3 to 6 hour platinums. We'll see how things go from there. I will be slowing down too because the wife and kids will be going back to school. And while I will have more alone time at home, I do need to work sometimes. So now I can't use them as an
You work?
excuse to play. I do work sometimes. Yeah, so gonna be working a lot more and being productive at the house. But like Patrick, I probably need to update my year-end goals because I'm already more than halfway to where I want to be, or maybe I'm still a little under halfway, but I'm way further than I thought I would be by this time. So, yep. Speaking of Patrick, into year-end goals and completing games, Patrick, what's up with you, buddy?
Yeah. So I guess we'll keep the game train rolling.
Choo-choo.
So my New Year's resolution was to complete 12 games that I already have, just replay them, all the ones that I like. And this past week was number 8.
Nice.
I beat Ghostbusters Remastered.
Wow. Okay.
Now this I started playing this game, and this game is the set after Ghostbusters 2. So basically, this is like immediately after Ghostbusters 2 ends. This is the story, and you play as a rookie They don't go really into a lot of details of who you are. You are a voiceless character, and this the whole game is voiced by like Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, all the Janine, the Walter Peck, I think his name was, and the mayor, like all these guys that are the voices in the movies do the voices for this game. So
Quality.
yeah, it was really awesome. And what I did find out, the Slimer is voiced by Troy Baker.
Really?
Okay.
He would
Yeah,
find his way into this game and just be random Slimer.
And I was like, I don't remember Slimer saying anything other than
He may say like the occasional English word, but
yeah,
other than
but
that, it's just all gibberish.
But it was good. It was a third-person action adventure. The Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, all those guys are just like, it was written by Dan Aykroyd and Hale Ramis. Like
As
the
it should
story,
be.
yes,
Nice.
it was perfect. As far as the story goes, I mean, it was a loose story. Ghostbusters doesn't really have a tight story, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, just go with it. It's a popcorn flick. That's the same thing with this. It was good. It was like I would say maybe a 8. I think I finished it in 8 hours, maybe 9 hours. Very short game. I played it on easy because I did not want to play, because I played on normal before, and it's tough. I died a lot. And I was like, no way. I'm just gonna enjoy the story. And you upgrade your gear. You get different proton packs. There's a way to actually catch ghosts in your trap and everything. So there's a little bit of a difficulty to it, because not just because of the game difficulty, it's the controller difficulty. Like to catch a ghost, you have to press all shoulder buttons
At the same time?
in
Smashy way?
particular succession.
Oh, okay.
So it's you have to hit L2 to start your proton pack, and then you use R1 to shoot your proton pack, and then to trap to grab your the ghost. You need to, after so long, you have to hit L1, and then after you do that, you need to slam them into the trap with R2. It is crazy how, like, my hand started to hurt. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Did you start
Easy
doing
mode.
the Clark configuration with your hands?
I was holding them
fingers
with
around?
both my index finger and my ring finger, and I don't play like that.
Right,
It
that
was
is
so
weird.
awkward. But yeah, I mean, like the Stave Puft Marshmallow Man's in there, Zool's in there. There's just anything that you would think of was in the original Ghostbusters 1 and 2 is in 3, or is in this game. I mean, Vigo, there's a big, huge painting
Nice.
in the middle of their in the Ghostbusters headquarters. It's cool, and you can even interact with it, and he'll say stuff, stupid stuff. It's pretty funny.
Nice.
But I had a great time with that. Absolutely great time with that. But the remastered, it's not really remastered because they lost the footage or the digital original for the cutscenes. So all the cutscenes are not remastered. They're from the OG 360 PS3 era. But the gameplay is like up-resed to 1080p, a widescreen. It looks really good. But when it goes to cutscene, it looks worse.
Yes.
And usually in games, that's the exact opposite.
Yep.
The cutscenes are usually better than
That
the
is
gameplay.
so
but
weird.
it was like the
Real quick, I've
Yeah.
been playing Parappa the Rapper. I don't know if you guys played that one, but it has the same exact issue where when you're doing the levels, it's like beautiful. Like it's remastered, it's everything.
Right.
And then you get to cutscene, it's like original PS1 on a wide screen.
it's stretched,
yeah,
grainy.
it's awful. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's crazy that they did that.
But it was, I mean, it was $20 when I got it as a remaster. I think it was originally maybe like 30 or 40, but
yeah,
I got it. I played it when I came out, and then I just wanted to play again because it's just fun. Ghostbusters is fun, and it's fun. It's funny because it's written by the Ghostbusters guys. But yeah, I give that game probably 8 out of 10. I think it would be higher if if it was actually remastered, because nothing really changed in the game. Nothing changed, just a better resolution and frame rate. So that's on the gaming front. On the life front, I had 4 interviews last week.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I had 3 in one day, and then I had another one that bleeded over into the following day.
All with the same company, right?
All with the same company for the same position.
All right.
I went through the gauntlet. Anxiety was high, but it wasn't as high as it could have been because over the weekend, my wife allowed me on Saturday and Sunday 8 hours for both days. 8 hours Saturday, 8 hours Sunday. I was studying for these interviews. I went online. I saw all the the top 100, top 10, top 15 best interview or questions and how to interview for a manager position. I even Googled like the way on the other side, like how would you interview for to hire a manager? So I was like, not only just the flip side of the employee or the applicant, but also the interviewer. Did all this stuff. I wrote it all out. I talked it all out. I answered my questions audibly in front of a camera just to make sure that I was making sense. Did that all weekend. And when they were asking me questions, I had examples. I was ready to tell them about my experience. I was able to go into detail because they were not just, hey, I wasn't stumped on anything that they had because I had a lot of time to actually look it over, think it over, and talk it out all weekend, which was awesome. So shout out to the wife for letting me do that and taking care of the kids. So now I'm just it's a waiting game, and we will see. I'm expecting to hear something this week. I know that they said that there was going to be interviews earlier this week. I don't know if there were like the schedule kept or if they had to reschedule and maybe they're later this week. I don't know. I know how managers and bosses and things like that, their schedules changed and things change. So I'm hoping to hear something this week.
Yeah, man.
I think I did a great job. I think I knocked it out of the park.
I believe it.
I think I couldn't have done it any better than I did. After every interview, I fist pump. I'm like, yes, I did great there.
Sweet.
I felt great.
Hoping and praying with you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. In the middle of all this, I did watch a movie this week. I watched Blues Brothers.
Oh, another movie with Dan Aykroyd.
Yes.
Or another thing with Dan Aykroyd.
My wife was singing a song. I was like, that reminds me of Blues Brothers. She's like, well, that's actually from Sister Act. I was like, well,
yeah.
I'm already on the Blues Brothers train, so I'm going to go ahead and watch it. And I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen this uncensored before. I used to watch. Really? I guess I watched like the Saturday afternoon Fox 19,
the
the TV edited version, because they were just dropping F-bombs and cuss word after cuss word. I'm like, I don't remember this at all. Either I did not know that these were bad words when I was little, or I didn't see the real version, because I was like, right off the bat they started cussing. I was like, I turned to Mel. I was like, because I was expecting to watch this with the kids in the room. That didn't happen. I looked it up. I was like, this is R. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, but it was goofy. The soundtrack was amazing. Absolutely loved it. It was the nostalgia of seeing it now, but it was better because I never saw the original. I never saw the actual version, so it was fun. It was fun to actually watch that.
Cool.
You should watch Blues Brothers 2000.
I saw that. I don't really think I ever seen 2000 before. Was is it with Dan Aykroyd and?
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd and
somebody different.
They actually got John Goodman this time.
John Goodman.
That's
okay.
right.
Yeah, because at this point, John Belushi had
already passed away. Yeah.
John Belushi and John Candy.
John Candy passed
John
away.
Candy
Yeah.
had passed away too. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll check that out.
There you go. On a mission from God.
Yeah, we're on a mission from God. Their accents were hilarious.
They are.
And they never died. They got blown up. They got
everything.
like rockets sent after them. It was hilarious. They just they didn't even acknowledge that they just got blown up or big wreck or whatever. They just like poured the rubble off of them and like, Huh.
Yeah, we're
There's a
good.
coupon.
Yeah,
There's a
that's how it
coupon
works
here.
when you're on a mission from God. You don't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, it was awesome. Lastly, today, we watched my wife's best friend's kids. They're 4 and 2, and my kids, they went off to school, and their kids came over. They were over here all day. We had all of our old toys that we have for the kids when they were little. So all the small blocks and building toys and Legos and whatever the kids were using when they were 4 and 2. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see them walking around with their, pull up diaper, or making sure that they go to the bathroom, and making sure they're eating their vegetables and things like this, just the small things that you're doing with kids, or cutting their food up so they don't accidentally swallow it whole or choke on it or whatever. And I turned to Mel and I was like, I miss our kids being this little. She's like, I don't.
Yeah, I'm
She's
more
like,
in
they're
Mel's
so
camp.
much better
I'm like,
now.
Really?
I was like, they're just cute, innocent. They're helpless for the most part. I just love that the running of a toddler, and it's just like something that I just love about it, because it's like they don't know how to run quite yet, but it's just like they're trying their best. And I told her, I was like, I miss that. So speaking of missing things, that's our topic of the show. That's right, folks. We are talking about missing things. All the things that we have missed from our childhood to now to all time. To start us off, we have a voicemail. We have a voicemail, guys. Yes.
What?
We have to dust it off.
What? That's what I miss.
What's a
I miss
voicemail?
Barnaby's
It is,
voicemails.
and it is. I'm sorry, but it is not from Bernabe.
Who's it from?
You'll find out. Hold on,
Eventually.
let me figure this out.
Will we find out?
You've forgotten how to use voicemail.
What is up? This is Los calling, saying hi, answering your question. What do I miss? What don't I miss? It's one of those things that you probably better off just naming what the opposite is. It's really hard to narrow down everything that you miss. I miss going to the movies. Miss going to the theme parks without it being a gigantic ball of stress in your stomach, just worrying about everything. Let me see what else I miss going out to a restaurant once in a while. I hated it before, and it's one of those things I kind of don't really miss, but at the same time, it's like I miss it for my family's sake, 'cause I know my kids really like going out to restaurants and stuff. But me, having worked in the kitchen professionally for like 10 years, it's not something that I care to go back to ever again. I'm fine the way it is, us not going. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks, but what are you gonna do? It's one of those things. Eventually, things will be normal again. Eventually, things will get back on the path that it was before. But for now, just going with the flow. Trying not to think too hard about stuff and about how different everything is. I think I miss the most going to freaking Target, going to the store, walking around doing nothing and just, window shopping. It's like now it's such a chore, and, I don't want to take the kids in there and all that. So, it's a pain, but like I said, what are you going to do? So, I hope this is what you were referring to. What do we miss? Hopefully it's not something from like childhood. I miss Saturday morning cartoons. That's another thing I miss. I miss stuff, and yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna start rambling now, so I'll leave. So peace out. Have a good show.
Yeah, so when Lo said that he misses restaurants, even though he doesn't go to them, he doesn't really care for them, but for his family, like, it's like you don't realize what you've missed until it's like gone.
Yeah.
It's true.
And that's when I was thinking about this past week, and watching my wife's best friend's kids. There's a lot of things that we did when we were kids, or we did now. Like one of the things that I totally miss was like living with my brothers and my sister. Growing up with them. Hanging out with my brother, learning from my brother. My brothers, them introducing me to grunge music like Green Day and Nirvana. Those days of sitting in front of a boombox, listening to that music for the first time. Missing those kinds of things. But yeah, like Lo said, there's a lot of things that you miss, but some from COVID, pandemic thing this past year, back to childhood. But yeah. Lo said he wasn't going to ramble on, but we have a second voice film from him.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Classic Los.
You know what else I miss? I miss being a kid, going out, riding our bikes down to the park, playing baseball, playing football, coming back when it's dark, You can't do that these days. It's very different. You can't. It's like your kids want to go out. No, you can't go out. Just stay right here. Stay in the front yard. And it's like even then you got like creepers driving around. And it's like you can't do much. But I called again, second call, just saying good job on your Mandalorian spoiler show. I really enjoyed it. There was a whole bunch of tips and insider knowledge that I wasn't expecting. So you guys did your homework. Very good. I'm very, very happy to hear it. And yeah, I was fixing to do my own little Mandalorian show for my show. And now it's like, it's going to suck compared to you guys. So I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but maybe I'll definitely give you guys a shout out though. It was a good show. I appreciated it. So good job. And I'm gonna go now because I feel the blabbering coming. So I'm gonna hang up now before that starts. So peace out.
Now I feel bad for missing it because I totally would have brought it down a little bit. Yeah, you guys brought all the facts. I'd have brought nothing.
No, I appreciate the sentiment and for that, Los. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt.
As far as homework, I didn't do very much homework other than rewatch the series. I know that Lucas did his. He had some serious facts. Some serious facts.
I knew stuff and I looked it up.
And then Mark, he's just like a walking encyclopedia. Like he's just he just knows it. So
he lives it.
yeah. But yeah, what about you guys? I know there's some things that we miss, and not necessarily want to go back in time and change it, because some things that we had in our previous experiences are make up who we are today. But it's just fun to look back at pictures of our kids, our childhood friends, what we looked like when we were 9, and our stupid haircuts we had. But yeah, what do you guys miss?
How many of you had the bowl cut, first of all?
Oh, 100% I had the bowl cut.
Everybody had that?
I'm raising my hand right now.
I had the
Yes.
mushroom cut. I did not have the bowl cut.
That was what pretty
I had
much mine
all
was
of it.
as well.
The Beatles mushroom cut, is that what you're talking about?
Something
Bob?
like that, yeah.
With my hair parted down the middle.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
like
the
an
Jonathan
idiot.
Taylor Thomas.
a
look,
regular
basically.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Butt crack on my head. That's awful.
I'll start by. I agree with him. So the restaurant thing that he said was kind of funny, because I'm that way as well. I do like. I guess like we can kind of start going out a little bit now, and restaurants are kind of, they're like, we went to Olive Garden last night for our date night, and it was an hour wait. You can't reserve spots, which that still seems ridiculous. But it was an hour wait because basically only half to maybe a third of the restaurant is of open seating. Everything is very spaced out, so a lot less people can get in. But I'm like that too, where it's like, oh, we got to go meet so and so at whatever place, and I'm always like, oh man, really? Like we had to do that? Like, and now it's kind of like, Yeah, you do kind of miss it. Like, it was a hassle before, and you don't love it, but you do love going out and just doing different things. So I mean, I agree with that. It was really nice to go out like last night. It was the first time, like I said, we'd been out in a long time, and I don't think you really realize what you're going to miss until you don't have it. So
Right. Yeah. Like
For sure.
my wife and I are going out to lunch for the first time in like a year together because of this whole thing and the kids being home and doing the old remote learning, and no one wants to watch our kids because of the possibility of contracting this virus. It's just like really, really tough. And the kids are finally back in school. We don't have anything going on tomorrow, and we're looking forward to having just us time.
that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. So I definitely agree with a lot of the things that Los was mentioning. You know, obviously pre-COVID stuff. You know, theme parks. You know, I don't have kids, so I don't. It's not really something I necessarily have to think about. Although my most recent trips to theme parks have been with our youth group, so I have had to think about it, I guess, in that respect. But yeah, I remember when you're just going there to have fun, just not a care in the world.
no responsibilities.
Mhm.
Who misses that?
Yeah, that was,
It's
and
so
that's a
hard
lot
to
of,
not miss that.
and that's a lot of obviously being a kid. Like, you know, going back to being a kid, I miss sleepovers with my
Oh,
friends.
yeah.
Where you would like stay up all night. Like I remember when I first got my Nintendo 64, it was
yep.
back in like 97. I had a literal Mario Party where we stayed up all night playing different Nintendo games, including I think Mario Party was out at the time. The original Mario Party, and my mom made a Mario cake.
Awesome.
Nice. That's awesome.
And I wish I could find it. I don't have it, unfortunately.
Nice. We need to see a picture of that if you have it.
You don't want that.
And mine wouldn't even look like Mario.
No. It looked like a big blob of red and
Yeah,
blue.
it just turned into a regular cake, shaped funny.
But yeah, just loving that kind of stuff. Like being able to, you know, like, hey mom, can so and so spend the night? Can I go stay at so and so's house and we'd stay up all night and just play
I'll
video
take
games.
you, but his mom has to bring you back.
Yeah, you had to like work it out, everything.
Oh man, the working it out of the car rides, and like I had a friend that his parents insisted on always picking him up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
What?
Every time he stayed at my house,
We
they
would've
would be
just
like,
been going to
"He can
bed."
stay, but we're picking up at 6 a.m."
Yeah.
The
Like,
door's
all right,
unlocked.
but I'm not
I'll be
getting-
asleep. You can grab him.
Exactly. I'm not getting up with you, bud. Sorry, we're
I'm
staying
gonna
up till
say,
4, and
I'm
you're
gonna
on
say
your
bye
own.
right now. It's 9 p.m. Yes.
He told me later on afterwards that when his parents picked him up at 6, they would take him to their job.
Oh,
And
that's rough.
he would help them
He paid-
clean,
he paid
do
for those
janitor
late
work
nights.
wherever they were
Oh,
working that day.
jeez.
I was like, why did they do that? Leave him at our house. Pick him up at lunchtime.
We're not leaving him over
It's
at
okay.
the Swisher's
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
What? Why?
There's people.
Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen to
Those
them.
hooligans over there.
Yeah.
He's not staying there longer than he needs to. But the nice thing about being able to, you know, with my friends,
that's
that they all lived in my neighborhood, so like I could just ride my bike
Mm.
and then
Yeah.
come home. So that was certainly
I
awesome.
love riding
Nice.
my bike to and from friends' houses, making ramps. Oh, that was fun. I don't know how I didn't break any bones in my body, because there was one time where we were. I don't know if you've ever tried this before, but standing on your bike as you're riding it. Like, I know people will just, like, you know, with the no hands, and that's like a big deal.
Yeah.
No, I still can't do that.
I
never
couldn't
could.
do that either.
Like, I could only
Yeah,
do
neither
it
could I.
once I got to my oldest brother's bike, which was a Mongoose Decade Pro.
The
I
old
don't know.
Mongoose.
Whoa,
dude.
Yeah.
That
Mongoose.
was,
Oh, the
Yeah,
Mongoose.
man.
Mongoose was like the
That's
Cadillac.
professional,
Of
right?
It was, and that's the
Yeah.
only one that I could do with the no hands. And there was like right below the seat there, you could put your foot. That's kind of like where you would put your drink, or whatever. But your foot just like was like just nestled in there, and you could stand on that while you were riding it because it was just like the equilibrium of this bike just did not fall over.
I never got past Huffy.
Oh, Huffy was my first
Huffy
bike
for life.
Yes,
that's my
for
first
sure.
and last. Never got past Huffy.
Mark, to piggyback off of your like sleepover thing, one of the things that I really missed when I was younger is LAN parties. Like we would have 4 Xboxes, and it was when Halo was really big.
Yeah.
And we would just play all night. We'd all be in different rooms yelling back and forth at each other. It was so much fun.
Yeah, and like nowadays it's
sophomore
just online.
That was my sophomore year of college.
Yeah, there was like
parties.
an era where
I'm a little
like
older.
the LAN
Just a
party
little bit.
thing was like big, you know,
just a little.
Yeah.
but it was
now
so
it's just
fun.
online, and that's why I like having Chris over on Friday nights. It's just like couch co-op. It's just such a different experience.
Oh yeah, I honestly like I almost only do couch co-op. You know what I mean? Like
that's awesome
when I play with friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I love that so much more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to piggyback off of Ronnie, who piggybacked off of Mark, sleepovers is definitely on my list of things I miss. The double piggyback. I love sleepovers. Like, I think the only friend that I had that made things complicated, which wasn't even his fault, it was his parents picking him up at 6 a.m., was that one friend. The rest of my friends, like, we had... So, I mean, and even that friend, his name's Josh, he stayed at my house. We laughed so much. Like, you just get in those... Like, you get that late-night giggle, like, giggly moment. Like, even with guys, it's just like something would just make you start
We called
laughing.
it our second wind.
Oh, yeah. It was like third and fourth and fifth wind, too. And if my sister happened to come downstairs, like while we were in that kind of mood, she better watch out because we're going to start making fun of her. And we made her cry in the refrigerator once.
I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
You made her cry in the refrigerator once?
Yeah, she got in the refrigerator, like stuck her head in and was just like her shoulders were shaking and she was crying. And we kept egging her and not egging her with like eggs. That would be
No wonder she's crying.
In the refrigerator.
Yeah, it was just so funny. But I just this past week I was talking to my kids about my favorite birthday party, which was when I was in 7th grade, and I had like 10 to 12 like pre-adolescent boys at my house, and we stayed up all night playing video games. At one point, at about 2:00 in the morning, we had a war, like where we just grabbed Nerf guns. Eventually, my friends found my Super Soaker guns. And we just, this is all in the house, just started attacking each other, war on, I had swords, I had all kinds of stuff. My dad never woke up. I don't know how. He was
in the
only one in
world?
the house with us. He slept through it all.
He's like, yeah, you can have 12 people over. I'm still going to sleep through it.
He did. He's I don't know. He just knocked himself out, took some Dramamine or something, and it was
So
awesome.
I remember my
played video
mom
games.
would always yell at us for being up too late, and she would be like, "No, you guys are going to bed now." And then we would lay there for like 15 minutes in silence,
and then
everybody starts sneaking back over and like turning on the game again. It's like, all right, we need to be quiet this time.
Yeah.
Volume
We
2.
actually lasted till 6 a.m., I think. Like the sun had just come up. And we were like, let's play football. We had stayed up all night. And we're like, let's play tackle football. Within 2 minutes, a kid throws the football at the ear of another kid who begins to cry in the middle of the neighborhood. And our neighbor lady comes out and was like, what are you kids doing up? Get back in the house and go to bed. Blah, blah, blah. So that was the end of that fun. It was good times.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah.
I think the last sleepover I had was like a year and a half ago. I think Mark stayed at my house.
Yeah.
He slept
That's
over.
right.
We put on our jammies. We watched a couple romantic comedies. It was fantastic.
Romantic comedies.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that. I miss home. Like I miss my home state of New Hampshire. I miss having good winters, like good snow and stuff like that. Down here in Virginia, you just don't get that. And I know I can hear all these people listening right now. Oh, I hate snow. It's the worst thing. I hate shoveling it.
Yep.
I get it.
Hate driving in it.
I love driving in it.
Well, that's why you don't
Hate
drive
crashing in it.
But for me, like I love the snow. I love just watching the mounds and mounds of snow pile up, especially in New Hampshire. Because I remember when I was a kid, I think I've mentioned this before, that we had these huge maple trees, 2 maple trees in our front yard, and you would have to climb a good bit to get to the first rung of the tree. With the snowstorms we would get, you just walk up the mound, you get right there, and just being able to like build tunnels and stuff in like the snow mounds and things like that, and just watching the snowfall and things like that. I miss that down here. And then obviously fall is way different. I mean, there are some similarities here and in this area of the country, but overall, I just miss that kind of stuff. You just really don't get it that much. You get some snow, but like it's gone in like 5 minutes. So yeah, I definitely miss all of that for sure.
Yeah, Mike Doherty on Facebook says that he misses good friends, and not COVID related, but moving across the country. So he feels, I don't know if that's him moving across the country or his friends moving across the country. But he definitely feels the same sentiment that you do about missing the feeling of home, or missing home in his sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that, Mark. Even though I'm one of the snow haters, I still miss the changing of the leaves. I miss, a lot of things about home. Being with family. Like I thought about how I miss splitting time with the holidays with family, and being like, okay, Mindy, who are we visiting for Thanksgiving this year? Who are we visiting for the early part of Christmas and the later part of Christmas? Who are we doing New Year's with? That's not really a thing right now, and not just because of COVID, but because we live on the other side of the world,
right?
And we don't see our family.
It's funny because in the time, those are things that you hate, like the whole busy,
it's like
craziness.
Annoying. It's like I just want to stay home. Yeah. And it's like the dinner thing. I mean, I don't relate to not wanting to go out to restaurants and stuff. Sorry, Los. I totally understand that sentiment, because to this day, I do not like going to Pizza Hut, because I worked there for a year during my freshman year of college, and I cannot stand the flavor, the smell, anything to do with Pizza Hut. I'm like, get it away from me. But yeah, I miss those date nights. I miss dinner and a movie with my wife. That's like our bread and butter, and it's not an option. So now that it's like not even an option, it's like, no, I want it. I want it back. Give it to me now. But yeah, being away here in Brazil, not seeing the leaves changing, not seeing family during the holidays, I miss all that. Miss it so much. It's
so strange. When I used to see my mom and dad almost every day. Like my sister and I would work together, and I would see her every day. Like my brother, I wouldn't see him as much, but I would see him every so often. But like this past year, it's been really, really hard. People don't want to take the risk of contracting the virus, or if they even have it because they're asymptomatic. Just like people are more reserved, and I don't see them very often. I see them more like I see you guys more on Zoom than I do my own family, which is rough sometimes. I really miss them. Yeah.
And going along with that, the more reserved thing, I miss human contact.
Yes.
Like, I miss hugs. Like,
absolutely.
I hug, like sometimes, I'm of course hug my family. I hug my wife and my kids every day. But like Brazilians here are very touchy-feely, very, it's not in a creepy way, but in a comfortable way. There's not this barrier of, am I getting too close, personal space? Like there's no worry about that. People aren't going to take advantage of it. And then at the same time, people are comfortable with each other. And I just miss being able to kind of just be in people's space and just hang out with the people that I love and care for, being comfortable with them. Now it's like, do we bump fists? Do we nod at each other? What can we do? And I just don't like that. I like to know where everybody stands, and just being able to kind of cross those boundaries for the sake of relationship.
And
friendship and stuff.
And Pat Chibby on Facebook says that she misses holidays, birthdays, snuggles, warm hugs, and she's right there with you. Like it's just some of those that interaction, the touch of someone, of just like whether it be fist bump, elbow bump, hug, it's like people don't do that anymore. I shook. So my wife's best friend's husband came over to pick up some or maybe he dropped off some toys for the kids. And I hadn't seen him in a while, and he's a gamer. And whenever I see him, we talk for hours about games. And I saw him, and I immediately went over there. He put his hand out, and I shook it. It was like, and I felt weird. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. Should I be doing this?
I felt like I'd crossed the line or something. I shook someone's hand, and I felt like I crossed the line. It was just that weird of a feeling.
Yeah.
I will say, I am on the complete opposite end of the spectrum of you guys.
Yes.
I do not like being touched by anybody. Like, pretty much, like, I do not like people touching me. I hate having to hug people. Like, I just am, I guess, weird about it. Like, I always, like, try to hug my mom. But, like, when other people try to hug me, like, of course, like, I'm not like, no. But so far, this has been great.
Man. I'm loving this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how my wife feels, too, for sure.
I love. There's actually a T-shirt or something out there that says, "After this pandemic is over, there's some of you I still don't want to see."
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Well, we can continue on with the Facebook.
Yeah.
Travis Pospisil says, "I miss having mixtapes that I could pop into my boombox with auto reverse."
Mixtapes.
Yes.
Okay, well,
There are no advertisements on mixtapes, let me tell you that. So Spotify might have their little mixes of this and that, but
You ever find like an old mix that you made
yes,
and you don't even know what's
How-
on there? You just have to listen to it.
It takes you back. It's like, this is blank, and this is my handwriting, but I don't know what.
Yeah, you don't
this
remember
is.
what you even put on it.
And there's like for me, I have like commercials in between songs that I actually mic'd in. I don't even know how I did that. Like, what kind of
You had, like, a
technology there
radio
was.
thing
Like,
going on?
I can barely do that now, and I have all
Yeah.
the technology I need.
I still hear some songs and I immediately sing what's next on the mixtape and not
I know what you're
anything
saying.
else.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
listen to
And
that
it's
same
like-
playlist so many times.
you listen to that same mixtape over and over and over again, and I'm like, well, you know what comes out? It's this song. And Mindy knows because it's a mixtape I made for her, but nobody else understands why I want to sing that song. And I'm like, this is because that's the way it
Yeah.
is.
I remember recording stuff off the radio because I mean it wasn't as easy to make like with cassettes
Yep.
to make mixes and stuff like that. So you'd have to like pull the songs off the radio and
Casey Kasem. Hey.
you'd have the stupid commercials and stuff on it.
Yeah.
And they all
DJs
sounded
talking
like
on it
crap.
and stuff. Yep.
Travis goes on to say, okay, well, there's that, but I really miss the old days of getting excited to go to the mall to look at CDs and cassettes and VHS movies. We didn't have mobile internet or phones, so every purchase was made by trusting the cover art and back description. Same holds
Yep.
true for early video games. There wasn't a lot of commercials, so we just winged it. Well, our parents did, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some duds that I bought, or my parents bought.
Yeah.
And going to like Toys R Us and grabbing that slip and then taking it up to the counter.
That's
Oh,
why you
man.
do the BMG collection where you pay $1 for 50 CDs.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
You don't lose out on anything. It's like, hey,
I don't know
the
how-
CD's not that great, but guess what? I paid 1 penny. for
How
this.
do they even work? How do they make money on that?
They went out of business like 3 years later. They had to.
It's like, 'cause
It was like
everybody
97 to
did that.
2000 they were in business when
You
I
had-
was in high school.
You had those like lickable coupons or whatever you put
the
on there.
stamps on it, and then you mail it to them, and then they send it. That was magical. I do miss that.
How in the world did that work?
That was a deal right there, getting all those CDs.
I miss being able to go to like Toys R Us looking at like all the action figures and not being like a creepy older man in the toy section.
What's
Yeah.
nice is I have kids, so I no longer need it.
Exactly.
I'm like,
I'm
hey
still
Clark,
a
we're gonna
creepy
go over the action figure section. Come on, let's go.
This is for you, not for me whatsoever. I'm not even thinking about what this would look like on my shelf.
I've
Yeah.
I do that with Claire, and Claire's like, you want to look at the wrestlers and the Star Wars? I was like, yeah, you know me.
Yeah,
That's exactly
dude.
what I want to look
Still to this day.
I'm like, let's.
That's
Oh, go ahead, Mark.
okay. That's what I used to say to myself when I would justify being in Toys R Us and be like, I'm just looking at this for my nephew. That's all.
You should be like, hey, what do you think a
System for
6-year-old
me.
would like? Well, what do you like this?
You just see a random kid in the aisle, and you're like, "What do you think of this, Tommy?" You're not Tommy. And the kid's like,
It's Billy, and this is what I said.
So still to this day, like if I go somewhere with my mom and my stepdad, like we will always like slip out and go to like the sports section, and we'll have like a football we're just like throwing across the store still. And what I realized is that you never really grow out of that. Like he's in his late 50s now, but we still. One time we were at the mall and we snuck off into the batting cages. There was like a batting cages like in the mall.
We had one in our mall
Yeah.
too. Isn't that a weird
It was an
place?
awesome
But
getaway, though.
it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it doesn't
It's
matter.
there. You do it. Yeah. I miss walking around a mall that has more than 75% of the stores open. Like right now, our mall down the road, it maybe has 40% of the stores. You know, Travis was talking about going to browse in a bookstore or a CD store, or we did that as late as August or July of last year. And then when we were finally able to go back to the mall in like November or October, the place we would always go to look at movies, to look at CDs, look at whatever, closed, gone.
We have a mall near us. It's the
Forever.
same way. Probably less
Broke
than
our heart.
40% now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's sad.
It is sad.
But I never liked cruising
So-
the mall anyway, so I just
Really?
never liked
I loved it
shopping. Like
back in the
who
day.
was it that mentioned
Oh
Target?
no, I don't like shopping.
Like going into Target. Like I know a lot of people like to just go in Target and just like kind of walk around and look at everything. Like, oh man, if I have to go to Target for anything, like I'm trying to get in there, grab that one item, and basically sprint out.
I still love the toy section, the movie section, the video game section. Those are like go-to. Once I'm done with those, if like Mindy's like, let's go look at some clothes, I'm like, dead fish. Just fall
I
over.
do like when they have the
I'm like,
sample
nope, can't do
video
it.
game though, and you can play it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
I missed that
fantastic.
too.
Yeah.
Definitely missed
Kiosks,
that.
yeah.
Dude, that was great back in the day, but now it's just like it's all at my fingertips.
Yeah.
Whether that is
That's true.
YouTube or
Play it at
demos
home.
or digital, like I don't go to the video game section anymore. Whenever I go to like Target or Walmart, because
I don't.
I've
either.
already seen them.
Yeah,
There's
I
you
got
know,
Novosel now.
Oh,
That's my demo section.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or I've already played them. So nothing that they have on here is new to me. You know, it's like I got this game on PSN for $20 and they're selling it. They always sell it for more than that at a Target or Walmart. I'm like, all right, whatever. These aren't, or they're selling like Uncharted, the collection for $30. It's like, what?
Like,
I just got that for
that's
20
$10 online
or 10?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like,
it's on
But-
sale
yeah.
digitally.
But I do miss the old days of like Sega and Super Nintendo and all those early
Yeah.
generation games of looking around.
You ever wonder how you even like knew of games back then?
I don't
How do
know.
we
Like
even know what was
I
good?
remember GamePro.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say
Nintendo Power,
magazines, Nintendo Power,
magazines,
GamePro,
EGM.
Electronic Gaming Monthly.
Magazines.
I'm
You remember
like-
like the game guides that you would like have to get back in the
Oh,
day
yeah.
for the
The
game?
Prima
Yeah, you
game
couldn't just look
guides.
anything up.
Prima
You'd have
game
to have like
guides,
this encyclopedia,
That's how
man.
Guides.
Yeah, imagine looking through that for like Mortal Kombat trilogy for the original PlayStation, which had like 60 characters,
Like 1,000
from all the
movies.
Mortal Kombats. And
I totally
this
had that
this
guide.
Prima guide was
The
huge.
Prima guide was thick. Yeah, and I still don't understand to this day why my dad let me have that game. Like, I remember playing that on Christmas Day, like ripping people's heads off. And my
Hey,
family's
Dad.
just like, "Oh, this is fun."
Is this what Christmas is all about?
Yep. Yeah, I miss those days
Yeah.
for sure.
Miranda Vasquez, closing it up on Facebook, says, playing hide and seek at night with the entire neighborhood. Whoa. We would all dress in dark clothes and pair up with little kids with the teens. It was played across 4 yards and was pretty hardcore, but so much fun.
Yeah,
That sounds
when you can-
awesome no matter how
do flashlight
old you
tag.
are.
That was a good time.
Yeah, I did a little bit of that at church camp, but
Yeah.
merging the yards, that's huge. Like that's
crazy.
really fun when you can merge the yards.
Hide and seek. Like we play hide and seek in the dark in the house with flashlights, and sometimes I can't find Clark because he can fit in almost anything.
You could be anywhere.
He's a master hider.
Like there was one time, like we have the garage and our car's in the garage, and he's hiding. He's standing right behind the back tire on the other side of the car, and so I didn't know where the heck he was. He's just standing there because you can't see him. I was like, dang it, this kid's
Yeah, when
good.
my kids were like 4 and 6, we would play hide and go seek during that whole year when we lived in the last city we lived in. We would play hide and seek in just our little apartment. There was one time I hid in the shower, and it took them easily 15 to 20 minutes to find me. And I just stayed in there waiting. And then there was another time I just put a blanket over myself on a rocking chair, turned it backwards, and they couldn't see me.
The best move is wherever
great.
they are counting. If you are in a spot that they pass by, get out of your spot and go to where they were counting and hide there.
Oh,
They'll
yeah,
never
that's
find
Go to
you.
where
Spooky.
they've already searched.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my son was in the bathroom. He was counting, and I was in his room. and he went straight downstairs because there's like so many hiding spots downstairs. And I just went from his room to the bathroom into the bathtub, and I sat there. And I'm like hitting the wall. I'm trying to give him hints. I'm like hitting the wall, you know, just like so he
making bird sounds.
Yeah, and he's like going everywhere except there. I'm like, but luckily he found someone else.
Yeah. When I miss that, like I miss kids wanting to do that. Like now it's like, Daddy, can we have screen time? Daddy, can we play on our phones? Daddy, can we, like, there's no neighborhood thing going down where, like, that's how I grew up. Like, the sun came up and you were outside playing. The sun went down and you were begging your parents to let you play some more or to play hide and seek or to, like, I miss the days where you could, like Lo said at the beginning, like, where kids could just hang out in the neighborhood and not have to worry about the creepers. Now, he's in Florida, so it's, like, 10 times worse in Florida than it is pretty much anywhere else, but even still, like, I miss those days for sure.
I miss the days pre-social media as much as I love you know, interacting with our community via social media and all that kind of stuff. I miss the days where everyone's opinion wasn't always in your face all the time. Now I imagine, you know, you can like just turn it off and walk away.
Most of the time, they wouldn't say those opinions if they were in your face.
Right.
Or you could both have a different opinion and it was okay.
Yeah. I mean, the best opinion you got from someone who was in your face would be like, all right, I guess. And then they wouldn't say anything. It's like, what do you think about this game? It's all right. What do you think about this movie? It's all right. It's like you don't get a score. You don't get like 3 million people give it a Metacritic score or an IMDb score or whatever score. It's like, you just took the word of the mouth kind of thing.
When people were outraged
or Siskel and Ebert
offended over everything.
that's how you knew if the movie was good or not.
Yeah.
Those are the old.
I miss summer break.
Oh yeah,
that's probably the thing that I miss the most.
Starting summer. Christmas break.
It was always over so fast too, though. I mean, it was like before you knew it, like you were waking up to go to school like the next morning. Like 3 months go by and it seems like 3 days. But it was fantastic. That first day out of school, like on to summer break, you're like, I'm not ever gonna have to go back to school for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's
waking up at 1 p.m. Like, all right, Mom, where's breakfast?
What are you doing today? Whole bunch of nothing.
It's like I'm gonna have cereal again, I guess.
Yeah, I know. Cereal. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Mom and Dad. You got to go to work still? I'll be here. Doing nothing.
I haven't eaten breakfast in 3 months.
That summer where you were finally old enough to stay home by yourself was the best summer.
I will say that that's true, but also, like, do you know where those days where you had literally nothing to do and you're like, man, I wish I had something to do today? Like, you would get really bored.
I platinumed NES
I've always
games.
made my own fun. Yep. Platinum to life.
Yeah. If you beat an NES game, it's a platinum.
It is a platinum. In my heart, it's a platinum.
They're so hard. You beat it, platinum.
Yep. Very true. Very true.
Speaking of games, Tim Pollen says, I miss arcades and pool halls.
Ooh.
I do miss arcades.
For sure.
Those were, Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter 2. Back in the day, this pinball machines.
It's no coincidence that when we went to Kings Island, we were literally in the arcade for most of the time.
Like, right to a flame. It was like,
straight hours.
Literally
like, walk in, I'm like, how many coins can I get for $200? Like, well, we're going to be here for the rest of the night. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yep.
He says, riding bikes with your buddies and spending all afternoon burning quarters on Dig Dug and Dragon's Lair. Do you remember? Did you ever put a quarter on the machine, waiting to be next? Were you one of those guys?
A couple times.
I never did that.
Never got that.
No,
chance,
I was like, there's 2 people, there's 4, there's 6 people playing Mortal Kombat 2. I'm like, I'll just play something else.
Yeah, there's always something else.
Yep.
Yeah. In the present time, he says, I miss visiting my parents and brother. Yeah. It goes around.
Yeah, man. I will say that during this pandemic, one thing that's been really cool is overall my family and I, we've gotten more comfortable on Zoom and Skype and FaceTime and all those things. And every single Sunday, it does not fail. My kids call Mindy's parents and my parents. And inevitably, in the things that Mindy and I are doing through the day, taking a nap or making a meal, we eventually end both the calls with all four of us talking with our parents. And it's been like that now. I can't even remember when it started, and it's just every week now, every Sunday. So I do actually talk to my parents more in some ways, even if it's with our kids and all the family talking together. So I do appreciate that. Because I'm kind of an out of sight, out of mind, and especially living in another country, while I miss my family, I'm not going to like go out of my way to call. Like my sisters used to call my mom like every week. And I'm like, no thanks. I'm good. Checking in once a quarter saying, okay, everything's good. Talk to you later. But having kids, it really makes you want to be connected with your family more for their sake, not just yours. So. Yeah.
Let's see. We have 4 more on Discord, so we'll go through those quickly.
Lightning round.
Rogue Hafa says, I've been traveling for work for the past 5 years, and it is strange to say this, but I miss traveling. I also miss the time we could hug and kiss everyone without fear, and finally, I miss not wearing a mask so I could see everyone's face.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the way he said it, but that's the way I said it.
That's right. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've smiled at people without making any other gesture, and then I walk away and I'm like, they didn't see my smile.
I know. I gotta like
Maybe
make
they
sure
saw my
I
cheeks go
squint
up a
or
little bit.
make a really big smile or say something because
Yeah.
they can't see your face anymore.
Nope.
Ryan
But I
the
feel Huff on
Backlog Bandit Straubby.
Let's hear it.
I miss not being able to see what cars are coming out. The auto shows still have the exotic cars, but there's no cool cars coming out for the general public. Domestic car companies are all about abandoning vehicles that aren't trucks or SUVs. I'm in the market for a sporty hatchback or a smaller car in general, not finding it with Ford or Chevy. So that's out of my area of expertise. I know there's auto shows,
Sorry,
but
Straubby.
I guess
all
they're
you.
not doing auto shows anymore.
No idea.
I guess
Yeah,
not.
I guess that. I guess if you're a car aficionado and you like seeing that stuff, that's got to be fun. Especially like boat shows. Those boat shows are big, and I guess if they're not doing those either, then that can be pretty terrible, pretty frustrating. Spacehawk 91. I miss heading down to our massive mall in Nashville. There's also a ton of people that go to the mall, so we try to avoid it. There are a lot of neat stores and great food places. Also miss going to the movie theaters and hanging out with our close friends. That is one thing that I miss as well, is the movie theaters.
Yeah.
With this whole thing and the movie theaters shutting down, and a lot of movies are going, digital, day and date or whatever. Like the past year has been Mulan, Bill and Ted, Soul, and then coming up, most recently was Wonder Woman, and now we're getting Godzilla versus Kong. We're getting Mortal Kombat. We're getting all the HBO Max movies that are coming, all the Universal movies, and it's kind. I don't know if that's the way of the future. I mean, we've discussed this before, but yeah, I mean, I'm with him. I miss going to theaters because there's nothing like seeing that huge screen with that theater audio sound in your face.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt about that.
Like I'll see comedies. I'll rent comedies through Redbox or whatever, but if it's like a Marvel movie, like I want to see that in the big screen. I want to get the best experience that I can get with a Marvel movie. And I think that's why they're kind of delaying Black Widow. So and they're hoping that the theaters will come back, but at this point, like I don't know what that's going to look like. But yeah, I'm with you, Caleb.
Absolutely.
The last one is Chris the Rock. I miss long runs, empanadas, and my friend Pascal.
Haven't had a good empanada since my first mission trip to Bolivia. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed.
But that is it on the Discord and Facebook. Nothing on Twitter. Back to you, Lucas.
All right. Well, that's all for our nostalgia trip, our trip into the land of saudades, as we've discussed about before. That just painful feeling of just missing someone, something, so many things in our lives, past, present, and way in the past as kids. A couple things before we sign off. We do have our GMG Video Game Top 100 coming at you next week. But first, we need to share our final games to add to the list. And so let's start off with none other than Ronnie Johantges. What games you throwing at us? I think it's 2 games you have to share. Hope you're ready.
It is. The first one, you kind of fed me earlier, being Rocket League.
There you go.
I have Rocket League for Ronnie on episode 123.
I knew this was going to happen.
2 episodes
I even
ago.
asked.
Oh, no.
I even asked. I
I'm
was like,
sorry you
it's
did.
definitely been said. Well, we should add it again.
I thought it had added again.
It is one of the best games of all time, for sure.
No, I actually don't know if we've added any of the Star Wars Battlefront games. I loved both.
No, we have
1
not.
and 2.
Both of them?
There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
And there we
Sweet.
go.
Good save. Battlefront 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
And I want to replay
right.
the Battlefront 2 campaign. I also did not get into the multiplayer in Battlefront 2.
That's a really fun couch co-op game to play on different sides.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really?
it is.
Is it split screen?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
It's basically a race to who can get like their Jedi first or like their special character. Because then
very nice.
you get like Darth Maul and you just start raking the other team.
All right, I'm going to keep the. Now, I hope this hasn't been mentioned because now I'm doubting myself if what's been mentioned, what's not been mentioned at this point. But Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh my gosh, if we have not said that yet,
I would be surprised.
I would be surprised. But let me do a quick search.
I think it might have been early.
Chirk.
Star Wars. It is not on there
How
yet.
about that?
Wow.
Whoa,
about
well
that?
done.
Add that,
That'd have been a
baby.
travesty.
And then the last one I'm going to add, my second one is going to be Angry Birds. The
There you go.
PS3 edition. I've played that game with my wife more than any other game.
I thought it was going to be My Name is Mayo.
No. My Name is Mayo didn't make the cut for my top 25.
Patrick would have been upset.
It's in my top 50, though. My Name is Mayo 2.
I'm having some serious internet issues. What was that you said? I couldn't hear any of that. What was that?
Angry Birds?
Going through
Angry
a tunnel.
Birds. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Angry Birds and Jedi Fallen Order. Those are my 2 picks, my last 2 picks.
Dude, Fallen Order was so much fun.
Okay. Yes.
So good.
For me, I'm going with Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3.
Nice.
There you go.
So I think Uncharted 1 got snubbed.
Yeah, Uncharted 4 is on the list. Uncharted
2, 3,
1
and 4.
is not on the list. They just got
just
so
as
much
happens-
better.
No.
Uncharted
Yeah,
was
it
good, but
does.
Uncharted 2, 3, and 4 were just so good.
Yeah. Uncharted 1 is a new hope. You need it for a base.
You need it,
But
yeah.
after that, you don't really need it.
All right, for me, I know I've already said Pokemon Red and Blue. I'm adding Pokemon Gold and Silver to this, and I'm adding as my last Dragon Ball Z Budokai.
Okay. You sure you didn't want to add Pokemon Yellow instead of one of those other
Sure you
colors?
didn't want to add Uncharted 1?
I
Sure
thought
you
about
didn't want to
it.
add Rocket League?
Yes. Add that one again.
We could
3
say-
times.
You know what I was really thinking about was Mario Kart 64.
There you go. That's an old chestnut that we almost missed. I'm glad you snuck that one in.
Although Pokemon Yellow was a lot of fun, mainly because like there was like a secret game where you could like play with like a surfing Pikachu, and it was like a game where you could do as like as many flips as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
that was pretty cool.
That was cool.
But otherwise, other than Pikachu following you most of the time, it's basically Pokemon Red and Blue.
Well, then you might as well
So-
make it yellow since that was the added bonus.
Yeah,
All right,
but
fine.
but Red and Blue were the OGs, so which is why I had it.
Fair enough.
And then Gold and Silver is like the newer generation. It's like that first new generation after the original 151. So
Gotcha.
But yeah, we have now 100 games.
Sweet. Well, next week, guys, our GMG VG T100. And we are going to discuss it, talk about it.
so many acronyms.
GMG.
You can add 126 on the bottom.
That's right. Yeah, GMG VG T100 126 E126.
My brain hurts.
Yeah,
Sweet.
so these will be ranked. That's what we're talking about next week?
Yeah,
Love
that's
it.
our topic.
Yeah.
We're going to talk all about our favorite games. So it should be fun. And then next week, also, sometime we are going to have a live show, a live spoiler cast, I think, of
Yeah.
the first GMGVGBC game
There's another acronym.
of Spider-Man Miles Morales, the video game book club we have with the GMG joiners.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Ryan Strauby's going to be guesting. We're going
Yeah.
to be doing a little live spoiler cast on YouTube and Twitch, probably.
We'll
One of
see
those
what
if not
happens.
both. Yep.
Yep.
So keep your ears to the old train tracks and listen for the rumblings of our first spoiler
Sure.
cast. Yep, that's how it works.
Awesome.
All right. Finally, some last-minute housekeeping, where we, of course, offer pillows, fluff pillows, topped with Andy's candies, and tip you off to the GMG news you need to know. Please rate and review us on podcast services around the globe, Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Stitcher, all those good things. If you have wandered into the realm of Discord, Twitter, Twitch, or use old-school email, we have links in our show notes that you can reference and click in order to join us there. And then finally, as Los did twice, you can call us at 929-GMG-GUYS, ask a question, share a comment, and ramble like you've never rambled before, and we'll love you for it. Speaking of what should be heard, other than Los's beautiful voice, Mark, do you happen to have this day in music for us to discuss or hear or be amazed by?
Why, yes, I do.
Fantastic. I was really getting nervous.
On this day in music history.
Yes, of course, on this day in music history, that day being January 25th, at the time of this recording, these things happened in the past. 1964, the Beatles scored their first number one hit, their first bestseller in the U.S., when I Want to Hold Your Hand reached the top of, I guess, whatever this was at the time, the
Casey
Cashbox
Kasem's top
magazine
40.
music chart. Yeah, no, it wasn't that. Although I think that was going on at the time.
Wow,
I could be
really?
wrong.
I thought that
Yeah,
was way
I mean,
later.
he did it for quite a
He did
while.
do it
I
for
could
a
be
long
wrong
time.
about that, and maybe later.
Started when he was a
but,
fetus.
he did it for a very long time. You
From
could
the womb.
Just imagine him rolling around in the womb.
Yep.
Now our long distance dedication. 1974, Led Zeppelin appeared at the Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana, to over 17,000 fans. Basically, this post points out that tickets cost $8.50.
That's a steal.
Big money.
Yep. That's crazy. Like the nosebleeds for like major acts, like gotta be what, 40s and 50s now
Yeah.
in terms of price. Well, obviously pre-COVID. That's one thing I miss about pre-COVID too is concerts. But man, that's cheap. And that is it.
Very nice. Alrighty then. Pat, Mark, and Ronnie J, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and adjoiners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.
1, 2, 3, 4.